the Undressed Show. Yes, it's Wednesday night Undressed. Here we are again. Another interminable week gone by. Yet, slathered in sweat, we sit waiting for winter to arrive, dreaming of cooler days. Maybe a little rain or snow, we don't ask for much. Or perhaps just the simple opportunity to be able to think without incessant harping about the American election. I often wonder what the news channels will talk about after the election. I know the next one. I digress. Here we are, in the smog that is the back of Conroy's. No fear of Zika mosquitoes here. They wouldn't survive the flight from the front door through the haze of cigar smoke and patchouli left over from the Vietnam era. Ah, good old Conroy's. Yes, Conroy's Emporium, where you can literally catch anything your heart desires. Now then, my fellow undressed, it's me, Jeremy Taylor, your English Brexited host, our crew of miscreants who may already have been banned by the FCC from the airways. These guys, let me tell you, are so far out there that Rush Limbaugh complains to Trump about their unfairness. I've wandered again, let me introduce the naked but not undressed panel today. The very wise Dr. Orlando.
Yo.
The indefatigable Kathleen Taylor.
Hello.
The legendary Tyler Durden.
JT, what's good?
First, I know you all want to know what's been going on at Conroy's bar during the week. Well, as you know, Conroy talks to lots of people and was telling his customers a true story recently from England about a bow tie wearing duck that has been injured in a drunken bar brawl with a local dog in Chumley in Devon, England. Yes, the booze-loving bird, fictionally named Star, was enjoying a pint in the old courthouse inn with his human friend Barry Heyman when a hound called Meggie sparked a bar brawl. Star was left with injuries to his beak after the fight. Star pushed his luck too far and Meggie snapped, splitting Star's bottom beak right down the middle, Heyman told the Cheddar Valley Gazette newspaper. He gave her a stare, then promptly stood on her back. It wasn't pretty and not nice. We were so scared we would lose Star the duck. Star had to be rushed to the vets to go undergo an anaesthetic, which is always risky and could have gone either way. Heyman was scared for Star ever since he was a chick, carrying him around in his pocket. Once the duckling grew up, he developed a taste for real ale and started following his owner to the pub. He just wouldn't leave me alone. So we go everywhere together now. I've not trained him to follow me, he just seems to like it. He's one fantastic duck.
Did he have to have a beakectomy?
No, but it was ductatious.
Oh!
He is such a personality and attracts so much attention. Conroy has said that he is thinking of getting a duck, but is concerned that his patrons might eat it. Enough. We need to get on with the show, and again, much thanks to the now thousands of pornsters that continue to hit the Undressed website in the vain hope of being entertained by the audible entertainment we provide.
So seriously, if you walked in here one Wednesday getting ready for the show and there was a duck at the bar drinking a beer
With a bow tie.
with a bow tie, no less.
It's
What
a
would you
completely
do?
true story.
What I would do, I
Yeah.
would tell you to stop using acid because it's clearly taking effect on you.
True story. Here.
And where did you get it? Because I want some.
Well, crispy duck. It's like when you drive past lambs. What does everyone in the car shout?
Hold on, has anybody in the car or on the panel ever driven by lambs?
Yes.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys are from Britain.
Yeah.
You have to?
Yes.
I guess I'm way too much of a country boy. I don't know of any place around here where I can find lambs to drive by.
I will say it was in Scotland. So.
Oh, okay.
So I thought a little change this week on the old podcast. Some new subjects. Conspiracy theories. I have my pet conspiracy theories. I wondered what you guys might have as conspiracy theories. You know, it could be the Illuminati, UFOs, Hitler escaped and died in Brazil or Argentina in the 16th. I mean, one true one, of course, the Large Hadron Collider is being used to talk to aliens. Diana was killed on the orders of the royal family. What have you got any conspiracy theories, Lewis?
One of my family's personal conspiracy theories is that yoga is the devil.
Yoda or yoga?
Yoga.
Y-O-G-A.
Y-O-G-A, you know, downward facing dog and
Ooh.
yes.
So
Not-
when you're
No,
doing
not
it, you
that
are
Yoda.
praying to Satan?
You are praying to Satan.
I see.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Okay.
I gotta cut it out.
See, I've actually heard this from a lot of people. In fact, I think I told you, Tyler, that I had taken up the DDP yoga, Diamond Dallas Page yoga, and you would be shocked at how many people I can say that to, and I get the response, but you're worshiping the devil. I hear it all the time now. Like, I grew up with it. So it's not necessarily a shock to me. It's a shock that people still believe it.
A bunch of exercises that are intended to relax your body and stretch your muscles is worshiping the devil. I just don't get this.
Satan himself.
Right. Does he do yoga too?
Apparently so.
Okay. Right. No wonder they have the hot yoga. Mm-hmm.
Hey, it makes a lot of sense all of a sudden.
Now I know.
Now if they just incorporate pitchforks.
I mean, it's an opportunity to see nearly naked women close up and sweaty.
I see that all the time.
Quit stopping by my mom's house, man.
Tyler, do you have any pet conspiracy theories?
I do. It's one that's somewhat common. The first moon landing is fake.
The first moon landing.
The first moon
is
landing
fake.
is fake. Yep.
But tell us a bit more about that.
There's a lot of evidence, pictorial evidence and documented evidence that shows that it's fake. And if you look at the world that existed at the time, geopolitically, America was very upset that Russia was the first to actually get something into space after Sputnik, and they actually put the first man into space.
He said
Sputnik is not a dirty
Sputnik.
word.
No, I know what Sputnik.
And they put the first human into space, and we didn't like that at all. And so it would not shock me at all that our government tried to beat them by pulling off a hoax and saying that we got a human being on the moon first.
So do you think it's just lucky that they pictured everything exactly the same way as it actually was proven to be in later shots? Surface of the moon, the whole atmosphere, photos that came from that first landing have been proven to be exactly the way it actually is up there. So they just guessed right?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll tell you what, you take the Hubble telescope, point at the moon, show me the American flag waving, and then I'll shut up.
Well, to be fair, the American flag could have been planted there on any of the subsequent missions.
And not to mention also, that's really what Area 51 is all about. There's
Well,
no
that's-
space. There's
but
no
that's-
space
The flag
vehicles
sank
there.
into the cheese. You know that.
Well, the really interesting point that you brought up, though, is not one that because I've heard this theory a ton of times. In
Didn't
fact,
somebody make a film about it?
I'm sure there's multiple films, but one of my favorite podcasts is the Joe Rogan Experience, and he had Neil deGrasse Tyson on discussing this very thing. And there's enough evidence that Neil deGrasse Tyson, maybe one of the smartest people on the planet,
True.
cannot rationally explain some of the inconsistencies. But the one that you just brought up really kind of makes it a done deal. Like, there's no way for that much evidence to be prefabricated and then brought up to
verified later.
Then verified later. Either it has to be true, or every moon mission since then would also have to be false.
Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying we didn't get there. We most certainly have gotten there. I'm just saying the initial landing in '69 was false.
Right.
We got there a couple years later, and we've been there numerous times. But in '69, it was false.
Right. But think about it. Any depictions we've had of lunar activity since '69 would either have had to have been a wild-ass Terry guess, or they were there.
I'll let you decide that out.
I like science, so I'm going to say we were there.
I'll tell you my conspiracy theory.
Please do.
My conspiracy theories tend to be way more personal than that. My conspiracy theory is that all traffic lights are controlled from one spot. And this spot watches where I am.
That's actually kind of creepy. I mean, that means like someone's constantly stalking you.
Well, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
to
we
be
knew
fair,
that.
There's a whole group of us. I mean, never mind.
That's right, we do have a club.
So they are either happy with me and they let me go through completely free, or they are displeased with me and they stop me at every possible moment. It never seems to be halfway.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I truly believe that with enough concentration, I can mentally control the lights. So if I really, really want the light
yeah.
to be green, the light is green.
Or
Every
you see
single
it
time.
that way anyway.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
That's probably much more likely. Just
Actually-
again, going back to that acid.
Actually, I'm going to go ahead and actually, I'm going to go ahead and second that. There are times where I'm at a stoplight and I just relax and I just kind of go green, and boom, it
And
turns
boom,
green.
it's green.
Yeah.
And see, I thought I got it from Automan at first, but maybe it was just like my mental abilities.
Or maybe we've been driving for so long that we can now count.
Maybe, you know what? I like the mental abilities.
Let's see if
story
the audience, the audience member, Brennan, do you have any conspiracy theories? What's your pet conspiracy theory?
Pet conspiracy theory.
It has to be about pets.
Oh, God.
Oh,
I heard you think you were saying the first moon landing is fake. You think traffic lights are rigged against you.
what's your conspiracy theory?
I think that JFK was killed by the mob.
Do you?
Second that. There's a lot of evidence that
Yeah.
supports that.
There's a decent amount of evidence, especially with the family history of the Kennedys, with how Jack Kennedy was involved with the early bits of the mafia in the 1930s.
Peanut gallery said CIA did it.
Yeah.
No, there's a lot of evidence. I'm going to support Brennan on this. There's a ton of evidence.
Yeah, I would
that the
say-
mob actually did do it.
And I would also say there's a decent chance that the mob also killed Bobby Kennedy as well.
Yeah.
Okay, we have another one. Jamie?
All right, bear with me on this.
Okay,
right?
bear with us. Everybody
Donald
take your
Trump
clothes
is
off.
absolutely brilliant.
Who?
Donald Trump is absolutely brilliant.
Oh,
That's
no,
not-
actually,
that's a theory,
I know.
is it?
Wait, let me finish.
Okay.
Okay.
But that
He
was good enough.
single-handedly has destroyed the Republican Party,
Yeah.
and he will single-handedly get Hillary Clinton voted in, and he has done it on purpose
Because he's
Yeah.
a true Democrat.
because he's a true Democrat,
I'd
Look
and
at
this
you.
is purposeful behavior.
I like it.
No, I'd heard something of that sort, and the more I thought about it, the more it could actually halfway be plausible.
The scary thing is when he goes on Morning Joe on November what's the actual election?
November
8th.
On November the 9th, and opens up an envelope that he sent Joe Scarborough 6 months ago and says, right, open it. And Joe says, oh my God, it was all a con. Or something like that. Mine is an interesting one for all you historians out there, and that is when they had the Normandy landings, right, and we're going to go and attack German-occupied France and everything else. I defy you, about a week out, to find the head of the German military protecting that coast, Rommel, to find Winston Churchill, Eisenhower, and Montgomery. For a 3-day period, all three of them, all four of them are off the grid. Interestingly, Rommel headed off to inspect some submarine bases and didn't come back for 3 days. And the U-boats never ever left port and then just came straight back. I think that Rommel did a deal with Montgomery and Churchill and Eisenhower. That's my conspiracy theory.
So, are you personally saying you think that Rommel kind of wanted Hitler to lose World War II?
If Hitler had actually died in that room where a bomb went off, if he died, then already there were the other two German high commands, Himmler and Goebbels and people like that, were already negotiating with the Brits. It's all very secret, but they were actually negotiating peace terms. They would have needed a leader, and the Germans would have wanted a general, someone that all the Germans believed in, and that would have been Rommel.
And Rommel was, out of all the generals on either side, you could argue Rommel was probably the most intelligent of all the generals.
Definitely the most dreamy.
Certainly the most
That's
respected.
true.
Another
That's
one
just
that's
the
very
actors playing
interesting,
him, dear.
I think,
Oh,
and that is
damn.
that the large. This one is another one that I find interesting. You might like the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland is being used to talk to aliens. Now, I don't know what you guys think about
I've
that.
actually never even heard that.
Haven't you heard that?
I've never heard that.
You haven't heard that?
No.
How bizarre.
It could talk to aliens, but the question is, are they talking back? And do they have to create a hadron, whatever, to talk back to them?
Well, no,
I mean,
the whole idea is that it is, in fact, an alien design.
really?
Yes, that's why it has to go out of the country and back again, and because it's so big.
Oh,
That's what she
Because,
said.
in fact, aliens are a lot bigger than us, and this is just a microphone.
Well, thanks to aliens, we got things like Velcro. Allegedly.
who to what?
Who to what?
Because of aliens, we got things like Velcro. I'm serious.
Yes,
That's
that's true.
one of the
Yeah.
alien
Yeah.
theories.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
I just thought of one that I want to talk about, but I have a question before I get there. What about conspiracy theories that are real conspiracies? Like, are any of you guys familiar with COINTELPRO?
Yes, I'm a bit familiar with COINTEL.
Coin what?
COINTELPRO.
The counterintelligence
I can
program.
safely say no.
Okay, it is a program established by the U.S. government to use sometimes legal, sometimes not legal means to subvert or to disempower what they deem as subversive groups, of which Martin Luther King was one of the people that was targeted by COINTELPRO. So the federal government, the FBI branch of the federal government, embarked on a campaign. I actually have it written down here. Their tactics were infiltration, psychological warfare.
Just a moment, please. Hello? Yes? Yes? Right. Well, of course. Actually, guys, we're not allowed to talk about this. Sorry. Just had a call.
No.
No, really.
They didn't kill him.
No, really. We're not allowed to talk about that. That's,
It was a documented bona fide case of the federal government actually picking a individual, one of its own citizens, to discredit, to engage in illegal activities against, because the government deemed them as subversive. The entire civil rights movement was in some way or another targeted by COINTELPRO, and there were other groups. The Ku Klux Klan at one point was also targeted by COINTELPRO. But when we talk about our government not being 100% on the up and up, this is always the very first thing that comes to my mind. So when Tyler starts to mention the notion that the moon landing was faked, and your immediate response is to say, our government would never be that shady. Like,
Yeah,
I want to stand.
Actually, there's one that there's two that come to my mind. Actually, when in kind of like when you say government up and up, one is the Tuskegee Project, which do any of you guys know the Tuskegee Project? Obviously,
No,
Lewis does.
I'm not into conspiracy. Go on.
No, the Tuskegee Project is actually documented. What it was were to study the effects of syphilis on the human body.
Oh, right.
Several African American men in the South, particularly in Tuskegee, Alabama, were infected with syphilis and not treated. And
Just to watch them die.
to watch them die and to study the effects of the illness.
Right.
Yeah. And the other one was I don't know if there's any official evidence. I think there is, but the potential. We might have almost blown up an airliner and blamed it on Cuba to go in and kill Fidel Castro.
well, there is talk, and we'll move on, but the 1996 TWA Flight 800 was actually accidentally shot down by the U.S. Navy by a submarine. There is no doubt that there were people sitting on the beach. They saw the aeroplane fly over, just like people do when, oh, look, there's an aeroplane, and all of a sudden they see something come out of the sea and hit the aeroplane. There is even supposedly video of it.
Flying fish?
So there is the thought that there might have been an American submarine just on patrol and someone pressed a button and goodbye TWA. There's no doubt that it was hit by a rocket. Let's move on.
One more quick
one more.
This isn't necessarily a conspiracy theory. It's more like a thought experiment. It's called simulation theory. Have you guys ever heard of simulation theory?
Simulation theory, yes.
That we are the result
Been
of
doing
an
it for years.
experiment, and we're not sort of real.
Yeah.
I do it down at the Shady Lady.
Yeah. Okay, here's the 30-second version of it. Computers are getting increasingly more and more powerful. At some point, computers will be fast enough and powerful enough to mimic reality. They'll eventually get to the point where they can mimic reality to the point where you can't tell the difference. There is no reason to suspect that they haven't already gotten there, and that we are figments of a computer's program.
You know, you
imagining-
really shouldn't say that out loud. Now you're going to probably die.
Can I offer the potential?
No. We got to move on.
No, we're moving on. Moving on. So, all right. Okay, we're moving on then.
No,
now,
my final thought on that.
oh.
Okay, one final thought is,
I wanted to offer.
Oh,
he wanted
God.
a final thought. Go on then. What's your final thought, Kath?
guys, jeez.
Yeah.
Okay, we're moving on. So, on my next subject, I wonder, who do we believe today? Who do we see as neutral and truthful? Certainly not Morgan Freeman, who we all thought was God. But what about Tom Hanks, perhaps? We tend to watch news outlets we're comfortable with, therefore we only hear what we're comfortable with. How do we know if Hillary or Donald are telling lies or telling the truth, and do we even care? For example, what would it actually take for our panel to actually believe Hillary is a liar or Donald is in league with the Russians? Why do we tend to put our hands over our ears and sing jingle bells when our favourite candidate is called out Tyler?
Well, first off, they all lie.
Amen.
They all lie. They're politicians. They all lie.
My question is not whether
Hang
they
on,
do or they don't.
I'm getting there. But they do all lie. And why do we put, our hands on our ears and sing jingle bells to answer that question? Because, in a sense, as an independent voter, you have to sit there and choose. Well, let's see. Obviously, I have choice A or choice B. Unfortunately, I live in a system where I don't have choice C, D, E, and F. So I only have two choices, and I'm forced to pick the lesser of two evils. And so if I choose for Clinton, even though, I know she's a liar, but I like her more than I like Trump, then the lies she tells will just kind of go in one ear and out the other. Because I have no choice. If I as a citizen, had the ability to vote for none of the above and it actually mattered, and you could just scrap the entire election and make them get brand new candidates and try again, then I would care. But right now, I have no choice. I have to vote for either Trump or Clinton.
Lewis.
I think it's kind of a circular question. If we start with the premise that we all suffer from confirmation bias, then the answer to why we don't believe our own candidates is because we suffer from confirmation bias. So if you question the validity of your belief in, let's say, Donald Trump. If I am a rah-rah Donald Trump supporter, and I have a worldview that...
What do you mean, if?
Okay, I was trying to keep that on the DL, but god damn it. Okay, so if I have a worldview that supports the notion that Donald Trump should be president because he says all the things that I feel and want to say and feel like should be in place, and I find out that he's said something wrong, I have one of two choices. I can reevaluate my entire life's philosophy and the entire structure of logic that my existence has been predicated on until this moment, or I can ignore the lie. So I think that just kind of as human beings and for the sake of expediency, it's easier to just ignore the lie.
Well, you've proven
Kathleen.
you're not a Trump supporter because you used the word predicated, for God's sake. It's got more than two syllables in it.
I'm sorry, I meant huge
Yeah,
beliefs.
Huge tracts of land.
I think that personally, I already know that people occasionally lie. Any human being. If you go over their life with a fine-tooth comb
We
and
all
lots
lie.
of press,
I've never lied. What are you
everybody
guys talking
has-
about?
Shut up.
Liar. Shut
Yeah,
up your
yeah.
face.
everybody has lied about something or other. Sometimes it's because you don't want something to be found out. It gets found out. It wasn't all that bad in the first place, so you shouldn't have lied about it, but that happens.
I did tell you once that I had never done that with a man before, too, right?
Perhaps.
So I'm a Hillary supporter. I know everybody lies. I know that she has said lies about things, and she's parses things too closely for comfort. But the number of untruthful statements that come from Hillary is so minuscule compared to the whole heaping mountain of total crap that you're seeing out of Trump, who will contradict himself from one sentence to the next.
Sometimes it's
just
in
ridiculous.
the same sentence.
Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a thing of
Brennan,
beauty to watch.
what say you?
I say that being how we've mainly focused this around politics, I have a feeling that the reason that we have confirmation bias with news and all of that is because it goes with, like, I don't think anyone on this panel particularly, no one would agree with every single thing a candidate says.
Nope, I love Trump. Everything he says is good.
No one here would actually go every single thing a candidate says and go, yes, I personally believe that. But it's easier to say that than to give credit to another side and have to go with saying, okay, there might be one or two things that I agree with. So then another side can start using that and saying, well, then you should vote for this person, when you have to parse it out and say, I believe one thing, not 25 things like I believe with candidate B. So essentially, it's just to make our own lives easier that we go with everything, so we don't have to deal with idiots trying to take one thing and stretching it farther to be everything.
That's a good point.
Merriam-Webster defines foreigner as a person who is from a country that is not your own, a person who is not native to or known to a community. For example, I can tell by your accent you're a foreigner in these parts. So, panel, why don't many Americans deep down like foreigners, Tyler?
Because they don't like change.
Let me.
To be honest, because they don't like change.
They don't like change.
They don't like change. They don't. No.
I think it's deeper than that. We have a.
No, I don't think it gets much deeper.
The
than
doctor
that,
thinks it's
because-
cheaper than that.
because.
No, deeper.
I know. I'm saying it's not deeper.
Oh,
Wait,
right.
we're talking about foreigners, right?
Foreigners.
Yes.
Well, right now we are.
It's not pronounced foreigners.
Side
It's pronounced
conversation.
foreigners.
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 Yeah, F-E-R.
But no, I don't think it's deeper than. I mean, honestly, people don't. They'll never admit this, but they don't like change, and a foreigner represents change, represents some difference.
I think a foreigner represents danger. I don't think that is
Because
necessarily
it's
change.
It's dangerous because it's different. Because what you have that's constant is safe.
Yeah.
When something is different, that's dangerous. Now, if something is a change,
See,
that's danger.
I agree with what you're saying. I just think that the order of priority is backwards. I think that the danger comes from the fact that somebody that's outside your tribe might want to kill you. Like, I think it goes back
they're
to
a foreigner.
No, I think it goes
because they're a foreigner. That's danger.
Yeah.
So are you
Yes,
familiar
I'm
with the whole
backwards.
monkey sphere theory? I can't remember the name of the guy that came up with the notion of monkey sphere, but essentially it's the idea that you can care about approximately 100 people. You can actively exhibit concern for about 100 people. Once you get outside of naming about 100 people or so, the ties that make you into a village start to break down. They observe this in monkey communities, in monkey and ape communities, that once the pack gets to be about 100 members strong, it either has to separate into smaller packs, or the pack collapses.
I have a pack of 150
Have you a
every
banana?
single year.
I'm sorry, say again?
A banana?
Have you a banana?
Have you a banana?
Is
Give
that
me a
code?
banana.
Go.
Well, you want to talk
It
about
is
minkies?
There's other implications
It is
here that are
code.
starting to come up that I'm about to back slowly away. Like, I'm not getting involved here.
So, for some reason, I just want to yell "stranger danger" right now.
Well,
So,
I mean, Kathleen, you married a foreigner.
I lived overseas. I married a Brit. I'm not
No,
scared
no,
of
no, no.
foreigners.
Let's all tell the truth here.
Yeah, what?
You married two Brits.
Well, not at the same time.
which would have been impressive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've lived in Thailand. I've lived in Scotland. I mean,
You didn't marry any Brits, did you?
No.
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 Sounding like Winnie
Sorry.
the Pooh then,
No,
is what
no.
Winnie the Pooh thought.
I was rambling, but I was getting to a point.
Oh, were you?
Yes. The,
This is the first time for
the
everything.
notion is
Do try and keep up.
once you get outside your monkey sphere, you don't care about the people that are around you. So if I am...
I disagree with that.
No. And some people...
Why
some
are we
people
talking about monkeys?
Some people are particularly empathetic, and
Look,
their
Bobo.
monkey sphere can be 200, 500 people. The number doesn't matter. What matters
Well, I don't
is...
think that's pathetic.
what matters is that there is a finite number that everybody can actively keep in their mind.
No. I disagree with that.
Okay.
My number's-
I can argue
My number
this.
is way lower than that. Yours might be
Lewis.
bigger. It might average out.
Okay, so you call it the monkey sphere.
Right.
What's different between monkeys and human beings?
Bananas.
Tails.
They are much,
Tails.
much stronger than we
Tails
are.
and bananas.
You are conscious
They're covered in
energy.
hair.
They are
They're
just
hairy.
energy. They are not self-aware, nearly to the extent that
You don't
we
think
are.
monkeys are self-aware?
Not nearly to the extent that
No.
we are.
I would
And they don't eat their own poop.
I would also say, if we're going by that theory, I don't think it's correct exactly, because that would give the ideal that we care about everyone equally. I would say spheres can. I would say, by that theory, there would be different spheres for different levels of caring.
I thought he
I
said
would go-
spear.
I would go-
I'd swear he said spear then.
Jeremy, keep up.
No, this is exactly what I think. Like, when you are on your cell phone, do you consciously think about the number of people that have physically gone into making that device?
No, you think
No.
about monkeys and
No.
bananas.
You're going to tell us monkeys do?
I'm telling you that there's a point where people become abstract to us. There's a
right.
point where
Yes.
we don't actively think about people as people.
Well, there you're just cutting it down to essentially, if I can't see it, then it's not real.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
for right now,
Yes.
I can't see anybody in Nebraska right now.
Yes, this is
So
exactly my
for
point.
all I know, Nebraska is barren and empty.
This is exactly
There
my
are
should
no
point.
be.
bananas.
So, going
should
from
move
there,
on.
if you're in a place where you are hungry or your needs are not being met, and
I'd give you a
go-
banana. I
I
would.
think we have
Dude.
gotten so
He's
far
got
off
bunches for you, buddy.
and you go and see some people over there in Nebraska
Yeah.
that have the stuff that you need,
Yeah,
Bananas.
and your family is suffering because you don't have the stuff that you need.
sure.
Your concern is not the people in Nebraska. Your concern is getting the stuff that you need for your family.
No, you would
No.
ask nicely, may
My
I have one of
concern
your
is, okay,
bananas?
I gotta go kiss
and
those-
they would say no, and then you'd go back to your family and you'd think about it a little bit, and then you'd come back and you would say, what's your bananas?
You would say, "Pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?"
And can I
No,
also?
I take your point. You go further away to get to people you don't care about as much because they're further away.
I mean, look
And
at
because you
Kathleen.
don't
She
have to
went all the
treat
way to
them.
England.
And can I offer the thing
God.
that even people
She wanted
who
a
are
banana.
technically quote unquote against burners or so, to that extent, we don't necessarily think of people in Nebraska and think of foreigner. It's,
for yourself,
We think monkeys.
Yeah.
We do. We think monkeys.
No, there's a lot more to the
Nebraskan monkeys.
concept. I think there's a lot more to the concept of a foreigner than what you're getting on. I get where you're going with this, but I think it's a bit undeveloped with the social construct.
So
behind the
generally
concept
speaking,
of
the
a
reason the panel think deep down
but
that they don't like foreigners is because they're frightened of monkeys. Well, okay, fair enough. We'd like to move on.
Those damn monkey lovers.
I think it's monkeyist myself.
Monkeyist.
Yes, monkeyist. Particularly Mr. Trump, because he doesn't have these troubles. He has a monkey living on his head. Panel, new question for you, and I want you to be specific here. So no bananas this time.
I got a banana for you.
I want you to be specific.
Grr.
What is your favourite food? First part of the question. So if you answer that, you've got to come up with something. What will you not eat? So for argument's sake, I will eat broccoli. I hate it. Hard-boiled eggs? Nah. I would only if I was in prison and I hadn't eaten anything for 3 weeks would I eat a hard-boiled egg, and then I'd probably up chuck. So let's start with Kathleen. What's your favourite food, and what will you not eat?
I haven't got any hard and fast rules. If something is served
Yes,
to
you
me
have. I
in
live
a-
with you. I know what your favourite food is. So
I know.
share with us what your favourite food is.
But if I tell you my favorite food, you said I then had to tell you something I would refuse to eat. I am.
Kippers.
I hate kippers. I just
No,
don't like
you
to
don't.
smell them. They're disgusting smelling. Horrible fish. Ugh. But they taste all right, particularly when they're
So
on
your
buttered
favourite
toast.
food?
Potatoes.
Potatoes.
No
Tyler,
question.
what's your favourite food? What will you not put in your mouth?
Favorite food would be a Thai dish called Pakapamu Kaijiao.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
that
The
was-
alpaca, yeah.
I ate that every single day when I lived in Thailand. Oh my God, I could eat that every day. The one thing I will not eat is lima beans and Brussels sprouts. And no,
Together?
No, either one.
Yeah, either.
Either.
If
Lima
you, if you
beans
give
and
me
Brussels sprouts.
if you give me a dish for Thanksgiving that's got turkey and potatoes and gravy and stuffing and cranberry sauce and there's lima beans on the plate, I'm not eating any of that shit.
Hey, I have a recipe for
'Cause the-
barbecued lima beans that taste just like baked beans.
Not a prayer in hell. I'm eating that.
Okay.
Kath, I commend you for creating that, but not a prayer in hell. I'm eating
Lewis,
that.
Lewis, what's your favourite food? What will you not put in your mouth?
My favorite food is absolutely, without question, potatoes. Followed second by Snickers bars.
Oh, together.
Good call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think of what it is that I wouldn't put in my mouth. Because there was that one time in
That's an
college.
unfortunate phrase.
Leave Nate out of it.
There's really nothing that I wouldn't try. There's things that I would not prefer to have again, but I cannot think of a food. I've never had snails, but I wouldn't be averse to trying them. There's nothing that
What about things like ox tongue?
I've eaten ox tongue quite a bit.
I like.
Yeah, but
about
Brennan,
ant eggs?
what would you not eat?
I would
I
eat ant
actually
eggs.
only have one thing that I have eaten. It is a very common thing. One thing I have eaten and refuse to eat ever again. And this is a thing for me because I cook here and I serve it regularly. The one thing I hate, raw onions. I cannot eat raw onions. I can barely.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas. We'll get you a
No,
bag
like
of
I
onions.
absolutely
Really?
hate raw
Raw
onions.
onions are wonderful.
What about, let's go out to the team. You
Yeah.
could just shout out answers. Producer, liver.
They won't eat
Okay.
Anything that has noodles, pasta.
Oh,
But loves anything
Saturday
with
you want to be
noodles.
on my radio show. Eric, the producer, what will you not eat?
Guacamole. Do not
No?
like it.
Great
Won't eat
day in the
guacamole.
morning.
I used to be like that. I actually used to not like guacamole.
Don't like the texture. Don't like the color. The feel of it. No.
It reminds you of the Turtles, doesn't it? The old,
I don't know.
old Kermit or Kermit.
No.
You're not sorry. You're thinking someone's chopped up Kermit, aren't you? That's why you don't.
No. It's just
It does
I don't know
look
what
rather
it
like a
is.
frog in a blender.
Yeah,
Thanks, Jeremy.
yeah. What is your
And shrimp
what
is my go-to. Shrimp is my go-to.
what? And shrimp is your go-to.
I don't like shrimp.
Favorite
Yeah.
drink, and what can you not possibly drink? So, Lewis, what's your favorite drink? What can you not put in your mouth, drink-wise?
I cannot abide rum. Rum is horrible. I can't do rum drinks. I can't drink rum straight. I can't, for some reason, that sugar and alcohol combination is the devil. As far as my favorite, probably Herradura Añejo tequila.
Okay.
This man is serious about his booze.
What's your favorite drink and what's your least favorite drink?
My favorite drink is probably hot chocolate. And you can put in some peppermint schnapps if you really want to. That's nice. And what do I not like
What will
to
not
drink?
pass your lips?
What is that green absinthe? Blech.
I love absinthe.
Oh,
I don't.
Well, you got to have it with sugar, though.
Absinthe. You have to set fire to it first. Brennan.
The one thing I will not drink, and you will hate me for this, I despise hot tea.
Hot tea.
I cannot drink hot tea.
How
Honestly,
bizarre.
I can't drink a hot tea. Yeah.
Well, what about?
Favorite will actually is, I I always have a problem with favorite anything because it always changes.
No. Okay. What's your favourite?
At the moment.
Okay, first thing,
Get it out. Come on,
thing
spit
that
it
pops
out.
into my mind as favorite is Mexican Coke.
Mexican Coke. So that's the sweet Coke comes in a bottle.
Sweet Coke comes in glass 12-ounce
Coke
bottle.
made with real
and
sugar.
Yeah.
And I think
with
that
real
stuff is-
sugar.
real
The
sugar.
team,
Yeah.
other guys out in the
miss
audience.
Tyler.
Tyler. We haven't done Tyler. I do beg his pardon.
I will not drink grapefruit juice. I can't stand it.
Grapefruit juice.
Grapefruit juice is disgusting.
Right.
Yeah.
It's also not
That's
good
just-
for you if you're diabetic, by the way.
Good. That's probably why I don't like it. I don't know. As far as what I would drink, probably
Shirley Temples.
no. Probably hot and spicy V8.
Hot and spicy.
like that.
Hot and spicy V8.
That's the,
I
that's
got
the
it in my
vegetable
fridge
and
right now.
tomato juice with spices.
right.
and
I can
stuff
drink
I
that
love V8.
like
I'd
it's
mix it with
going out of
vodka.
style.
Yeah.
Hot and spicy V8.
Yep, that's correct.
Is it so much help if you would enunciate, dear?
Hot and spicy V8.
Well, now I know
Is that better?
Well
better.
done.
Yeah,
Is that better?
Yeah, as Michael Caine would say. Anybody else got things that they will not drink? Jamie out in the audience.
Beer is disgusting.
Beer,
Beer
is
is
disgusting.
disgusting.
That is not a
No,
popular
you don't
point of
drink
view.
beer.
Never.
Never. Favorite?
Gin and tonic.
Gin and tonic. That's your. Yeah. Okay. Neil. Yeah.
Is lemonade
Lemonade.
Lemonade.
Right.
Uh-huh.
better than just sitting down under a tree? I hate, because
Hot
I've had
lemonade.
many experiences with this as a youth, is the Jägermeister.
Oh.
Jägermeister.
What is Jägermeister? He doesn't like
Jägermeister. Jägermeister.
Jaeger's probably the
Jägermeister.
thing
Eric,
that I
the
would
producer.
drink. Yeah.
Oh,
Drink,
really?
favorite, and most horrible.
A nice cold glass of chocolate milk. So good. But
But
drink that I hate as a kid growing up, Yoo-hoo, the chocolate and the soda. Never
Yes.
combined.
Yes, that's the devil.
No. Couldn't go.
I saw you when I was in the.
you mean a bar of chocolate and a soda?
No.
No.
Soda
Chocolate
water
infused
with
soda.
chocolate.
Carbonated chocolate drink.
Oh no.
It's like
Yeah.
chocolate water with chocolate water that's carbonated. Actually, the other day when I was in North Carolina a few weeks ago, they have a Yoo-hoo chocolate bar you can get. I saw it at a few shops. I almost thought about buying it out of curiosity, but yeah, they have Yoo-hoo chocolate bars.
Next time, buy one and just dare a few people to try it. So
I might bring
Yeah.
it here if I go.
By the
down
way,
there.
we will in fact be doing. Somebody said they like noodles. We will in fact be doing noodles this weekend on our radio show.
Tasty.
1320 KLW and AM. Should we be going to the zoo? I want to ask. Are zoos a good thing or a bad thing? People being stupid at the zoo, then the SeaWorld and their whales. Functions of zoos and how do they help city folk? Terrible stories of animals when they're caught up in human wars. We've just seen this in Syria, where the zoo ran out of money, and anyway, it was too dangerous to go to feed the animals. Or we remember Berlin Zoo, which was being bombed. They managed to get one heffalump out, and in fact made a film about it after the war. What do we think about zoos? Who's got kids around here? We've all got kids.
It's not the
So-
zoo's fault. It's the parents' fault.
Parrot's fault.
Yes, it's the
Why
parents'
is
fault.
it the parrot's fault?
For God's sake, you look at all the stories about kids getting hurt in zoos.
What's that
Because
got to do with
their
parrots?
child just goes down and is all of a sudden in a gorilla cage, and the parents just aren't even.
It's the alcohol's fault.
She says it's the
Right,
outside.
okay, you know
I
what?
got a slightly different take.
No,
Did you say parent or did you say
the
parrot?
audience, the audience may have a point.
Oh,
it's
right.
it's the booze's fault. We'll blame the booze. It's the booze.
Hold on, I got a.
How many
a
wheels
slightly
do you have on your house? I'm sorry, I only asking. You know,
What?
Wow.
how many wheels do you have on your house?
What are you trying to say, buddy?
Okay, I got a slightly different take. I think zoos have outlived their usefulness.
What? No.
Yeah,
No.
I think that we have enough exposure to animals in the abstract, and we have enough. We don't yet get enough exposure to native animals to justify imprisoning non-native animals and trying to mimic their environment. That zoos, just by their very existence, serve to torture and torment animals for our pleasure.
Okay, if you really want to get into a deep
Is this a
conversation
racial
about
thing?
this,
Non-native I don't understand. Is you
No,
have,
I think
No,
that there's-
no. He's bringing up a good point. If you really want to get into a deep conversation, actually,
Yeah.
the formation of zoos is mainly because human beings like to feel superior compared to all other species on this planet. That's
Yeah.
why you have zoos.
Yeah.
That's really what it's there for.
Well, and I think that there was a point where zoos fulfilled a purpose. I think that in order to further understanding of animal life, like I'm going to say, 100, 150 years ago, zoos were a necessary evil. I think they've always been evil.
So you think that the actual viewing of an animal in full size and in 3D is no longer necessary because of what? Because we have the internet?
Because we have the
The
understanding
internet
of...
is 98.9% kittens.
So then
So-
we should lock up the kittens. And
Yeah, I
What-
mean,
what about
people
a
have to
petting
get
zoo?
a slanted
no, I
view.
don't think we want to know if you're having a feeling at the moment. Let's carry on. About kittens.
No, I think this has to do with an argument between actually, like, this can go in a lot of different ways, but in an education argument, this could go between learning via the internet versus having an actual teacher.
No, that's not where I'm going. I'm going in the point that the animals are being imprisoned. The animals are being taken from their natural habitat, and their lives are either being artificially shortened by being in a zoo, or their lives are being unnaturally extended
I hate
by
to
being
break
in,
this to you,
in a
buddy,
zoo. Yeah.
but you live in a zoo.
You're telling me. Have you met my kids?
Seriously, you live in a zoo. I mean, by your
What's
definition,
your
it's a
favourite?
zoo.
Let's move on then. So I can say that
I want to
my
know what he means by that.
Moving on. All right.
What?
No, say no more, say no more.
No, genuine. No, genuine now. Look, we've all been taken to the zoo as kids. I imagine we went to the zoo as kids.
Yeah.
What my favourite was looking at the penguins. Used to love looking at the penguins. Drive
Of course,
past the
the
penguins
Brit
in the
wants
zoo.
to see the tuxedoed animals.
Yeah. And I sort of thought, well, cool. Penguins are.
Literally.
Like penguins. And the monkeys, of course. I do like the monkeys.
Yeah, we got that from earlier. Yeah.
Favorite zoo animal. It's not a difficult question. It could be an alligator.
You're asking the guy that just said, I don't like zoos, what's your favorite animal to go
What's your
look at
favorite
at the zoo?
animal? Yeah. What would it be?
I would think that watching the cheetahs plot on how they're going to get the fuck out of there is probably my favorite thing to do.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's obviously what
Tyler,
they are
what's
thinking.
your favorite animal?
Completely.
Yeah.
I'm
is
going
what
to
I'm
kind of
thinking.
go along those lines. I'm going to say tiger, because when you look at a tiger and it looks at you, it's thinking, I'm going to fuck you up. I
No, it's
love.
not. It's not thinking anything sexual.
yeah, it
it's thinking,
is.
I want to eat you.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Kathleen.
That's a very tough question. Do me last.
Okay.
No, I was actually going
That's
to
what
ask
she said.
you to do you first because I
Oh.
actually don't really have a favorite because I never went to a zoo much. I just don't. I never gave it much thought.
I like giraffes. Giraffes will lean down and take stuff out of your hands. That's cool. And they're so tall.
I like sloths.
You mean sloths?
No, I mean
Sloth.
sloths.
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 All right.
Sloths. Sloths are cool. They sit up high.
We gotta, after
on a
this
branch.
podcast,
because
we're gonna
they're
have to have
high
a
all the
serious
time,
discussion
man.
on what is
Their
cool.
leaves, the leaves they eat are full of THC. They're just lit all the time. Like,
Those-
oh, what's
Sloths are the coolest things on the planet.
That's because they're lit all the time.
Yeah, far out, man. Hey, you want to come and
That's
get
why they
some
move
nuts?
so slow. They're like,
Oh,
oh, I
hey,
can
man.
kind of go get that.
Hey,
Yeah.
give me a grape, man.
I gotta itch my ass.
Oh, look, man. Hey, man, there's a grape. Oh, wow, man.
Essentially, they're the coolest
Hey,
because
Tyler,
they're
is
living
that
the life
Freedom
you
Rock?
want to.
That's it. You got it.
Up, dude.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
Hey, cool. Well, the bananas, anyway. Well, look, I think we're pretty much there now.
I'm tired of
we-
talking about your bunches.
Yeah, I do. I do. Kathleen has been very good and has been reading the newspapers. What we do need to do, of course, is to find out what the word is. This week's word from Dr. Orlando. So let's ask the good doctor, Dr. Orlando, the word, if you please.
Brothers and sisters, we are gathered here today to talk about this week's word.
You notice how everybody sits up and looks solemn? It's really quite funny.
Man,
Hold on, I gotta get back onto Brennan's internet here at the bar. Yeah, no. No, Brennan upgraded his router. It's no longer the crapshoot that it once was.
No,
Yeah.
that's the thing. We actually improved by going to a router that
Cost
I got
$12.
No, I got it for free.
Oh, for free.
Somehow that makes it better.
No, that's the sad part. I got the router for free, and it's way better.
A
than
Dollar
it was.
General. If you buy some Dollar General
Yes.
Coke, you can have a free router.
Don't think I'm gonna make it on the computer.
Okay.
Oh,
We found the word.
As people are driving along in the car listening to this, what bizarre? Okay, bizarre.
Huzzah.
Huzzah! Yes, an old English
I'm
word.
sorry, I didn't pronounce it correctly.
All right. Today's word: calumniate.
I beg your pardon.
Calumniate.
Calumniate or calumniate?
I'm sorry, calumniate. That is the correct pronunciation. Calumniate.
Oh.
Calumniate. Calumniate. It means either, I can tell you right now, it's a verb. It means either to rise or float from intense heat.
To rise or float from intense heat.
That's like when you've been to the lavatory or something.
To lie about someone maliciously. Or to concentrate exclusively on a thought or subject.
Yes, could you give us an example?
No, you can't use it in a sentence. We might
Yeah.
get it. I'm pretty happy with 2 myself. We got a
We
1
have
over there.
one.
The sentence
I like
Mine
the
is
word
to lie
There's two
about someone
ones.
maliciously. A 1 is to rise or float from intense heat. Because it would be hard to make up that definition. You really would have to work on that. What about you, Jeremy? You think it's
I
concentrating
think it's 3.
exclusively?
I'm going
I'm-
for 3.
I'm
So
on
we've got
3
2
as well.
3s.
Oh, one. No,
We've
actually, I'm
got
gonna
3
go 2.
1s.
Lie
So
about
we got
some.
3. We got 2 1s.
Two 1s, 2 3s, and a 2.
El dos.
The answer is to lie about someone maliciously.
That's right.
Because a calumny is a
I
lie.
do it all the time, so I should know what
Yeah.
it means. I mean,
Thanks
It
to
is-
our producer and editor,
Yeah.
Eric Holcomb, and engineer Neil Rasmussen, Tom Conroy, of course, for letting us do this every week. Do come by and try his steak fries, and for running probably the coolest proper pub in the region. From me, your host, Jeremy Taylor, thanks for joining in. Don't forget to check into our shows live on KLWN 1320, particularly on Fridays and Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central, or simply go to the site Wednesday night, undressed.